personally to book his place in this round of 16. I'm looking forward to this, as I know for sure my colleague is Fergal O'Brien. A very good morning to you, Fergal.
That's easy for you to say. Yeah, really looking forward to it. Very appealing players, attacking. Of course, great friends. There was a time when they lived together, but it was noticeable actually even in the handshake. It was very brief, barely looked at each other. So I said any friendship that they have is obviously put aside. It's an important, prestigious tournament. Both want to win. And again, Jack had a great win yesterday from 4 down, so plenty to look forward to today.
Yes, he did it. Drilled 4-1 at one stage, didn't he, against Joey Long. Back to 4-4, and as mentioned, taken off through handsomely to book his spot. The head-to-heads, incidentally, read unsurprisingly 10-5 to Judd. And he has won the last 3 meetings, all in finals, actually. So, yeah, but 5 wins for Jack Lisowski against his pal. So, be no intimidation factor. But good to see Judd Trump playing well again. I thought he was excellent in that European Masters, Fergal. And there's been a lean period. He's actually, I think in the last 2.5 years, he's only picked up 1 ranking event, which for Judd Trump, given that the previous 2.5 years to that, he won 13 of them.
Yeah, for a couple of years he said he was collecting them for fun. That has kind of dried up slightly. Made a good start to the season. It's already quite sharp between getting to the final and also playing the Championship League. He's already played like 14 matches this season. Only lost 1. He's had a few draws as well. So I'm sure during the summer he's had a little think of where his career has slipped a year or 2, and also then what he needs to do. We keep talking about maybe playing more matches. He tends to always play on his own. He's going to be taking the balls out, and that's great, but even as good as he is, he still needs, I think, that match practice, and that's why maybe he was getting caught in the early rounds of some tournaments, just lacking that little bit of sharpness.
Yeah, I think this match, if it had been 10 years ago, would be a good old-fashioned tear-up, but there's going to be quite a bit of tactical comings and goings, I would think, in this match today.
Yeah, I think slowly but surely you have to, as that opinion we had of the pair of them just being all out potting and tackling. And it wasn't just a case that they couldn't play safety, it was more just they couldn't be bothered playing safety, but I think that's very much the past. Particularly Judd, you can't win all those tournaments with just playing amazing snooker all the time. You're going to need a good percentage tactical game, but still not lose that little bit of flair and positivity.
Circumstances, quite a bad miss by Judd. That looks early. Yeah, so it's both players not quite settled. It does take you a few shots. The good news for Judd, he's got an absolute sitter to get himself going this afternoon in Shanghai. Yeah, Jack knows it. That was a bad miss. Yes, it's best of 11, plenty of time to settle, but you want to settle as quickly as you possibly can. Playing out in China's 5 ranking events all told. China
6. I mentioned earlier, Judd is talking about playing more practice matches. I'm wondering who he has in mind. Does he play somebody that, does he go start playing the likes of a Neil Robertson, real tournament rivals, or does he pick somebody maybe lower down the rankings you feel he might get more table time, or is he prepared to play somebody of the calibre that could give him a proper beating on a day, or does he feel that might be a sign of weakness with tournaments coming up?
Yeah, you have to get the balance right in that, don't you? The solo stuff and the match stuff. But crucially, you make a good point, I think, about the quality of your opponent, even in practice. It's good to take some pain and punishment on occasion, because it toughens you, doesn't it? It toughens you up for what's to come.
It's kind of a balance. You want to practice with somebody that you'd have to play very well to beat them, but even if you didn't beat them, they've punished your mistakes and have identified the areas that need to work on. So the mistakes you've made in the practice matches, you've nearly got them out of the way, so come the tournament you're just that little bit sharper, whereas otherwise if you don't have those, you're playing on your own. You think you're playing great, you could feel great, but just those little sharp, little bit of sharpness, little attention to details not there. You don't want to feel going into a tournament, particularly nowadays, well, if I win my first match or two, I'll be sharp, because you just can't afford to take that risk. You've got to be sharp from round one.
So Vicky. Circus Red.
Played the split quite well, considering a lot of angle to work with. Tad unlucky to leave this blind cut back. Talking of sharpness, this is the kind of shot that when you're sharp you see that line properly, don't you? As if it didn't play the pot, but those little shots are a good indication, don't they, of how sharp you are generally.
Yeah, and of course we're talking about solo practice, they're never a shot you practice. It's only through actually playing games that those kind of shots, whether you like them or not, keep coming up.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, isn't it? Whether you like it or not. Judd, as we know, is one of the best actually at most things, but certainly when he's got this kind of lead, 30, 40, 50, he's fantastic at defending normally. Yeah, be disappointed with that. Hand on the bed, a chance for Jack to loosen the shoulders perhaps.
Shot you'd fully expect Jack to be potting. I'm sure Judd, when he caught the brown there, feared the worst. But the win he had yesterday was more battling performance rather than playing fantastic snooker. Careless mistake by Judd there. Should have never left this potential red on for Jack.
playing a tight cue ball, but yeah, it's quite crucial, wasn't it? The fact that it bought him a chance to push the yellow. That sort of commission.
Both great potters, both attacking, but actually the difference today could well be who plays the better safety. The last year or so since working with Peter Ebden, you can definitely see a difference, and a good difference in Jack Lisowski. Just that little bit more patience, a little bit more discipline, and just at certain times just giving it a shot, just that extra second or two.
What?
Yeah, great pot that, wasn't it? So Judd's cast iron grip. This opening frame now more than enough.
Eight.
With the 3 reds in the open.
Nine.
That was a beautiful touch, wasn't it? So 64 to the good. There's this red.
23.
Virtually secure, frame 1. Yeah, again, I thought he just looked super sharp in that European Masters campaign
31.
3 weeks ago. Played brilliantly out there. A couple of comeback wins, notably against Chris Wakeman from 4-0 behind with a bit of sharpness that hasn't generally been there. I don't think the last couple of seasons. Yes, he's won the Champion of Champions, the Masters, but it's been a bit lean ranking event wise, but there's a definite sharpness to his game, isn't there?
Yeah, it's good to see, but it's particularly good to see because it's so early into the season. He's obviously put a lot of time in, I think, during the summer to get his game up, playing those matches in the Championship League, got through his group, extra matches. It's very sharp.
Yes, he does, and Jack Lisowski has seen more than enough. So Jack Trump played nicely when he got his second